And the Mallet Strike is an air defense exercise. We have participants from all the services. It's led by the inspector of the ground-based air defense. Further it will be abbreviated as GPAD. We have 2 exercises per year. They are fixed weeks. We have this spring weeks during May, weeks 20 to 21, 2-week exercise, and then in autumn weeks 46 to 47. And the exercise always consists of 2 different phases. In the first week we have live firings with the GPAD units, and also with the Air Force air-to-air firings, live firings in the Lohtaja firing range area, not every year. And then the second week of the 2-week exercise is combat training, so no live firings. The units are training in combat exercises, tactical exercises that will be elaborated further on. The second week of the exercise, the combat training, it's focused on practicing how to repel air operations, air attacks, and we create challenging situations for the GPAD systems. So there's electronic warfare, stuff like that. So we start a bit easier and then make it harder, so that they need to work on their skills and see what the modern battlefield is like, and all the elements that they have in air operations, including the electronic warfare, how they can cope with that and train their tactics and systems. Where we are, this is the Lohtaja firing and exercise area. In European scale, it's quite rare, big area that you can have a live firings with all the GPAD systems that the Finnish Defence Forces have, and also the Navy can do service to air live firing, and also the fighter squadrons can do air-to-air missile live firings in the same training area. And this exercise has been held here in Lohtaja from 1952 onwards. We had a few quieter years during the COVID-19, but it's been an exercise that has had its place in the Defence Force calendar, and it provides an excellent training platform for the conscripts, reservists, and also the regular personnel. You can see the military, our restricted military area on the purple line, and it's also a nature preservation area, so we have certain regulations that we need to meet in order to keep this unique nature environment also in as good as possible shape as we can. This exercise about the planning and the responsibilities of the Defence Forces, it's a big concept, but just coming back to the joint and cooperation between the Army and the Air Force. So the GPAD units are Army units, but it's the commander of the Air Force who is responsible for the air defense of Finland, and air defense consists of fighters and GPAD. So Army trains and has the GPAD units in the organization, but when it comes to using the fires that the GPAD and the capabilities that the GPAD can produce, it's under the Air Force command, and commander of the Air Force, it's under his authority, and we'll come back later about that whole entity, how we have, I can say quite proudly that we have built a really good cooperation between the branches, and Finland as a relatively small defense forces, we have had the capability of cooperating and finding synergies between the branches. And the purpose of the exercise is to develop and increase single operator skills with multiple target scenarios, and as mentioned, in a difficult electronic warfare environment. And what that in practice means, electronic warfare, I don't know if it's a good concept for you. Do you understand? Yeah, so
please explain.
I'll explain it. So the whole air defense and knowing what's in the airspace, so you need radars. They are the electronic eyes that see things, and most of the systems are based on having that information about the targets, and they acquire that information mainly by radars. So they get a three-dimensional position of some air target flying in a certain position. So with the radars work, the basically operation method is they send out this electromagnetic pulse, and if it hits an air target, it then reflects back, and the radar see that there's something in there. So it's like having a flashlight in dark room. So you point the flashlight somewhere, and it reflects back the image that you see. But with electronic warfare, you can deny that detection. So in this flashlight metaphor, there could be like a bright light coming back against you, so you are not able to see what's actually in the direction that you are pointing at. And it can create false targets. They could be like three. If you look at one person, there could actually be 3 or 4 persons, and you don't know which is the real one. That's called deceptive jamming, and it also could mean that the person you're looking at the flashlight comes 3 meters closer than he or she actually is, and that's electronic jamming. So you can do it with noise, just saturate the systems, or have deception, or jam the system. So different ways of denying the radars finding that contact in the three-dimensional airspace, and of course the systems have countermeasures. So if they detect that okay, now this system is jamming us, so we'll do on tricks and maybe find the target behind the jamming, and can do so. It's always a two-way action. There's a measure and countermeasure, and they work vice versa. So adding that element, because in the beginning, when the conscripts that we train, which are the main training audience, everything is new, and they even operating the system in its when it's fully up, so no electronic warfare or anything. It's all in the first steps is always demanding, but once they learn how to deal with the normal easy situation, then you can adapt the demanding environment with the EW, and looking at modern warfare, this EW is a relevant factor in the battlefield, also in operations.